Now this week on The Real Deal, we're going to cover something which pops up every time we do a contract. It's something that we don't talk a lot about, and it's time that we actually spoke about this. I'm talking about inclusions and exclusions. Now, a very common question that we come up against with first home buyers is, what is actually an inclusion? Now, an inclusion is anything that is screwed down and fitted to a property. I'm talking about towel rails, toilet roll holders, lights, things like that, air conditioners, ovens. They are all pretty much screwed in and tied down. Now those are, of course, inclusions. You can't remove an air conditioner at all. Okay, that's part of the house, it's part of what people are buying. Lock, stock and barrel, as well as the kitchen sink. Now, what about inclusions that do come with a house but are not necessarily specified, and they're not necessarily even screwed down? I'm talking about things like pool equipment and dishwashers, because a dishwasher is not necessarily screwed in, it's obviously connected. What about that? Well, I always like to write dishwashers and pool equipment in on a contract if it is an inclusion. Of course, you've always got to get clearance from an owner, and please be very careful. The person videoing this purchased a house, and the person that she purchased from swapped the dishwasher for a dodgy dishwasher that came out of their new house. Completely not cool and not on. They did the same with the pool cleaner. So that wasn't a very nice experience for this particular person that's filming this, that shall remain nameless, but it has happened before, but it's not going to happen in my watch. So be very careful that if it's a Miele dishwasher that you saw at the open home, it's a Miele dishwasher that stays. You might even want to take photos just in case, all right, in case I'm not selling it to you. I'll be very sure that you get what you paid for. Now let's talk about an exclusion. You know, sometimes people say things like, what about the furniture? What about the pool table? Can I buy the outdoor setting? Things like that. Now, if it belongs to the owner and it can be moved, it will go with the owner. Things like plant pots. If an owner elects to leave the stuff behind, normally there's a form of negotiation where they may say to the agent, we're open to offers on the outdoor table, or sometimes they even say things like, we're just going to leave the outdoor table behind. Now, you actually can't just leave stuff behind. Too bad. You can't do that, and ditto with old paint tins. Some people think it's beneficial to an owner to leave a tin of paint that's 15 years old, which is completely out of date, behind in the garage. Now, it's actually quite expensive to offload toxic tins of paints which aren't environmentally friendly. So please be thoughtful, and please have the conversation with the agent prior to vacating, and make sure that you're very fair, and you also take considerable notice of what you would like done to you if you were moving into a new property. So those covers inclusions and exclusions. And that last thing I want to talk about is a little black box. You know, the NBN black box that we might have waited 10 or 15 years for, when finally NBN rolled out. Well, that has to be left behind. We've done that many sales lately where buyers have, or sellers have actually packed the little black box, and then the purchaser's been running all over town trying to retrieve that. Please make sure you leave that little black box behind, and if there's anything you're uncertain about, talk to the agent. Pick up your phone. It's probably not a 1900s General Electric telephone like this little one, but if you've got a telephone, pick it up, give me a call, and I'm always happy to answer your questions here on The Real Deal.